Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to G Bear's Off-Grid Ways, a homestead in the desert, November 26, 2019. And yep, had to close up the camper. Major windstorm, major windstorm. Haven't posted because of that, but well, I spent the whole day, the whole day cleaning up and chasing stuff down. And this barrel was about a little more than a quarter mile down that way. The barrel on the other side of the containers was about a little more than a quarter mile out that way. And you can see the ground here is completely dusted off. It was like a tornado sat right on this corner and just sucked all the dirt right out of there, right down to hard surface. All right, anyway, I got some stepping stones in because the rain be a-coming. 90% chance of rain for tomorrow. It's 40% for tonight, 90% for tomorrow, 90% for Thanksgiving Day. And Thanksgiving Day is a really good chance that I'm going to get snow. So I'll be sitting inside of those windows there watching it because I ain't going out in that stuff. That stuff's cold. I know. I grew up in New England. All right. So you remember seeing my two little plants here that I had. Well, the third one's in over here. And that's a little bit better condition than those because that one was in a better environment. These have been sitting out here in this cold weather. So I think they're going to make it through the winter, hopefully. We'll see. Anyway, I'm all ready to start catching water. And the only thing I've got to do is, because I used some of the water from these two totes over here to fill the chicken's water container, because the winds blew so hard. I'd filled those things, they're a 5-gallon water container. I had filled it in the morning yesterday, and then today in the morning it was empty. The wind kept blowing. It hangs on a string, and the whole wind was blowing so bad it took a 5-gallon waterer up this high parallel to the surface and dumped all the water out. My God. Here's another thing I picked up from some friends. That's a laundry sink. I got the legs off of it right now, and there's no faucet or drain or anything in it. But I'm thinking I might put that in my shop, so when I'm working out there, if I need to wash something or wash my hands even, or if I get some back spray or something in my face, I'll have a place to get that off my face and clean it up and so forth and so on. So that's where that stands. And this water is due to me having filled up the chicken watering again. Now, I had marked it here a few days back when we were supposed to get rain, and we never did. And so I've used that much water out of here since. So it's a ½ inch below that mark. So if we could start getting rain, it's supposed to start tonight, and then go for the next 2 days, and then have a 1 day break, and then 2 more days of rain, and then a 1 day break, and then 2 more days or 3 more days of rain, or 4 more days, something like that. So the rain is supposed to go all through this week and all the way into next week. That's going to be something to see. And I want to see how much water I actually capture off of that. So anyway, I'm rambling on here. I'm going to go inside and sit down where it's nice and warm and cozy up and get ready for all of this. I'm going to make myself some dinner. Tonight I'm going to have a pan-seared ribeye with steak fries and asparagus. And the asparagus, I'll put some cheese sauce on it. So that should satisfy me for the evening. And I did go to the store and pick up some rat stuff. I've been on the warpath here. So I want to thank everybody. I'm sorry I haven't gotten back to you. I've just been so busy with everything else. But I wanted to say I got a lot of people in the comment section giving me ideas on what to do to get rid of rats. Well, some were good, some were bad, some I've tried, some I haven't. So I decided to put together a list of my favorites that I thought I would want to do, and that's where I went. So I got myself some of these Ortho Home Defense rat traps, and I'm going to bait those and get those in the attic. I've got a couple of different ones like this that are basically the same style and stuff, but I've got those up there in the attic now. But I also got some of this rodent repellent, and this is these are mint sackets, and you see the packs of mint there. And boy, when you tear those open and get ready to put them, boy, is that strong. That's almost irritating to my nose. So I reached up through my crawl space opening, and I threw two of those, one to each direction up in the attic. And it says one would be enough for my attic, but I decided to put two up there to make sure. Maybe I'll get a better night's sleep tonight. I hope so. The other thing I got was an electronic rat chaser, mouse chaser, and all of that. And then when I got it home, I popped it open and started reading the instructions, and it says it doesn't work through walls. So if it's not going to work through walls, what good is it me plugging it into the room where they're in the attic above that room and in the walls in that room, because it won't go through those walls. So I'm going to get myself a small lamp cord type extension cord, and I'll plug that into the bathroom outlet and go up through that access panel in the bathroom, and I'll put that chaser up inside the attic and see if that works. And it's supposed to be a high-end one, because the mice and rats will get used to the sonic sound if it's just the same sound all the time, and then they just ignore it. But this one's supposed to change the decibels and the frequencies on a regular basis, so they can't get used to it. But we'll see. Those are where I'm at right now. Looks like I'm going to be working indoors here for the next couple of days. And what I'm going to do is, I've got the wood. I got 2x4s here that are going to go for blocks up there, so that the overhang eaves outside are not air accessible to the main cabin. And then I'll seal those with expandable foam. And then these little crevices in where the corbels used to be for the porch, I'll foam all of those and get those all ready. And I may run into town, if the weather's not too bad, and pick up at least one bundle of insulation for the walls, and a couple of sheets of drywall, so I can drywall that section of wall and around the pantry cabinet. And what that'll allow me to do, and also the ceiling up there, and what that'll allow me to do is start building my cabinet up here, so I can get some of all of this stuff. And I've got a bunch of it outside in the container that I put out there when I started doing all this stuff. I can get all of that into cabinets. And then things like here, this clean towel that I took out of the laundry, that can go inside that cabinet over there. And then I can start getting stuff into my pantry. And then when the weather gets better, I'll go in the wood shop and I'll get myself a sheet of MDF, and I'll make two nice full-size doors that go up here. And I'll put 4 hinges on them. And to keep those doors from warping, an old trick I learned was you take a piece of 3/4 by 3/4 angle iron, and you drill holes in it and fasten it just on the inside of the door on the opposite side of the hinges, because the 4 hinges will hold that side from warping. But the free side, where the 2 doors will come together, could warp. And then you have a big gap in there. But if you put that straight piece of angle iron on the inside and then screw it to the door, and I like putting a little bit of silicone on it, press it into the door so it just stays as solid as can be. I've never had a door warp yet in my homemade cabinets. So that's the plan, and I'm going to stick to it, maybe. G-Bear reminding you, give me a thumbs up down there. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And don't forget to share with friends. And I'm going to probably sit down tonight and go back through the comments. And everybody I haven't answered in the last day or so with the windstorm and the problem with going to have to collect everything out of the desert and the rats. And, you know, I've just been busy. And I'm just going to sit down and I'm going to go through and acknowledge everybody who did comment. I'm sorry for not having done that in the last couple of days, but hey, things happen. G-Bear signing off.